Let yourself be still now. There is nothing left for you to do tonight. The day is finished, whether it was gentle or hard, and it does not need you anymore. You can set it down the way you would set down a heavy bundle at the door of a warm place, knowing it will still be there in the morning, knowing it can wait. For now, there is only this quiet, and your slow breath, and the soft road of these words to walk down until you fall asleep. Listen, the story I am going to tell you tonight is an old one, told for a long time among the Lakota people who lived on the wide grass plains of the heart of this land. It is a story they hold with great care and great respect, and so I will tell it gently, as a guest tells a story, with my voice low and my hands open. I do not bring you any secret thing tonight. I bring you only the shape of an old and beautiful tale, the way you might bring a friend, the memory of a quiet evening. It asks nothing of you but that you rest. You do not need to remember any of it. You do not need to follow every word. Whenever your mind begins to drift, let it drift. Whenever your thoughts wander away from my voice, out into the dark and soft towards sleep, let them wander. That is exactly what is meant to happen here. The words are only a path, and the path leads down slowly toward rest, and you are welcome to fall asleep at any time along the way. Tonight, imagine that you are lying on the wide open prairie in the long ago. All around you, the grass runs out to every horizon, soft and silver green, bending and rising in the wind like the slow breathing of the earth itself. There are no walls here, and no roads, and no sharp edges anywhere. There is only the grass, and the great round bowl of the sky above it, and the wind moving over everything, low and constant and kind, the oldest sound there is. Feel that wind for a moment. It is not a cold wind. It comes off 1,000 miles of open land, carrying the smell of sweet grass and warm earth and far-off rain. It moves over the grass, and the grass leans with it, all of it together, in long, slow waves that run from one edge of the world to the other. And it moves over you too, where you lie, brushing softly past your face, smoothing the day away from you, asking you to let go. Let the bigness of this place settle over you, because there is rest in bigness. On the prairie, there is room for everything. There is room for your thoughts to spread out and grow thin and drift away. There is room for the day to unwind itself, all its hurry and noise dissolving into the wide quiet, until there is nothing left of it but a far, faint murmur, and then not even that. The land is so large and so calm that it can hold anything you bring to it, any worry, any weariness, and make it small, and make it soft, and let it go. So bring all of it here, everything from your day, and lay it down in the grass, and let the wind carry it off across the plain. You do not need it tonight. This is a story about a visitor, a gentle and holy visitor, who came to the people long ago when they needed her, walking out of the wide grass like a soft light at the start of day. She came with a gift in her hands and a teaching on her lips, and she came in peace, and she left in peace, and everything she touched, she left more whole than she had found it. That is the kind of story it is. A story of a sacred teacher arriving quietly in a hard season to remind the people how to live with respect and balance, and then departing as gently as she came. There is no fear anywhere in this story. No monster waits in it, no battle, no chase. It is a story about kindness arriving and about a people learning how to live well, and about a gift freely given and gratefully received. So you can let down your guard entirely tonight. You do not have to brace for anything. Nothing in these words will startle you or pull you back from the edge of sleep. The whole tale moves at the pace of the wind over the grass, slow and even and soft, and you may let it carry you wherever it goes, drifting in and out of the words as you please, sinking a little deeper with every breath. And if you have had a long day, a hard day, a day that asked too much of you, then this is a good story for tonight, because it is a story about what comes after the hard season, about how the lean times pass and the good things return, and the worry lifts at last from behind the tired eyes. You do not have to carry your worry into the night. Hand it, just for now, to the wide and patient prairie, and let the story show you how the hard season ends. So let your shoulders grow heavy now. Let your hands grow soft and open against the bed. Let your breath grow slow and deep, as slow as the wind moving over the grass. There is no hurry in this story. It will unfold the way the prairie dawn unfolds, slowly, softly, color by color, with nothing rushed and nothing forced. And you may sink down into it as far as you like, all the way down into sleep if you wish, while the long grass keeps watch around you and the wide sky holds the room. Stay there on the prairie a while, lying easy in the long grass, while I tell you about the people who lived upon it. In the time of this story, the Lakota people were a people of the open plains. They followed the great herds across the grass, and they lived close to the land and close to the sky, moving with the seasons the way the seasons themselves move, without hurry, in a long and patient circle. In the warm months they camped where the grass was sweet and the water ran clear. In the cold months they drew their lodges close together against the wind, and in all the seasons they lived by the buffalo, the great dark herds that crossed the plains in their thousands. For the buffalo gave the people nearly everything they needed to live. Their meat was food. Their hides were shelter and warmth. From them came the people's clothing and their tools, and 100 good things besides. The buffalo and the people belonged to the same wide land, and their lives were woven together, and the people were grateful for it and did not forget. But the story I am telling you begins in a hard season. There came a time, the old tellers say, when the herds did not come. The people watched the horizon for the dark moving line of the buffalo, day after day, and the horizon stayed empty. The grass bent in the wind, and the sky turned through its colors, and no herds came across it. The stores of dried meat grew thin. The children grew quiet, and a soft worry settled over the camp, the kind of worry that does not shout but only waits, heavy and patient, behind everyone's eyes. Let me say gently, here at the start, that this is the only hard part of the night, and even it is soft. I tell you of the lean season only so that the gift, when it comes, can feel as warm as it truly was. Nothing here can reach you where you lie. The hunger in the story is long ago and far away, and you are warm and held and safe, and you may rest right through it. Think of it the way you think of cold weather, from inside a warm room, with the lamp lit and the blankets deep. The hardness is out there. You are in here, and you are well. So the people waited, and they did not give up. That is part of the story too, and it is a good part. They were a strong people and a patient people, and they knew that the land moved in long circles. and that a lean time was not the end of things, but only a turn of the great wheel. They kept their courage. They cared for one another. They shared what little they had, so that no one went without while another had plenty. And they decided, at last, to send out scouts, 2 young men, to go out across the wide grass and look for the herds, to climb the far rises and search the empty distance and bring back word of where the buffalo had gone. Picture those 2 young men setting out at dawn, small against the enormous land, walking off into the silver grass with a whole sky opening before them. They did not know what they would find. They only knew they had to look, and the camp watched them go, and then turned back to its patient waiting, and the wind moved on over the lodges, low and constant, the way it always had, the way it always would. And notice, as you rest, how this is a people who met a hard time, not with panic, but with care. They did not turn on one another. They did not let the worry make them sharp or unkind. They drew closer instead, and shared what little they had, and sent out their bravest to look, and kept their courage burning low and steady, like a banked fire through a cold night. There is a quiet strength in that, the kind of strength that does not shout, that simply endures and waits and trusts that the great wheel of the seasons will turn again. Let a little of that steadiness settle into you now, here at the edge of sleep. Whatever feels lean or worried in your own life tonight, hold it the way the people held their hard season, gently, patiently, trusting that it too will turn. Rest there a moment, in that quiet camp, before we follow the 2 scouts out into the grass. Now go with the 2 young men out into the wide morning, and let the camp fall away behind you until there is nothing but grass and sky. They walked a long way that day. The prairie is bigger than anything you can hold in your mind, and they were very small upon it. 2 figures moving through a sea of grass that stretched unbroken to every edge of the world. The sun rose higher and warmed their backs. Their shadows shortened and then began, slowly, to lengthen the other way. They climbed one long rise and looked out and saw only more grass, running away to a clean, empty horizon. They climbed another and saw the same. The land was beautiful, and it was endless, and it was empty of the herds they searched for. And as the day wore on, they grew tired and a little discouraged, though they did not say so. But there is a deep peace in walking a long way over open land, and perhaps you can feel a little of it now. The body finds a rhythm, one foot and then the other. The grass parting before you and closing soft behind. The wind always there, steady on your face. The mind grows quiet on a walk like that. The small, busy thoughts fall away one by one, left behind in the grass, until there is only the walking and the breathing and the wide, patient land that does not hurry and does not end. Let your own breathing find that rhythm now, slow and even, one breath and then the next, as if you too were walking softly through the long grass toward the far edge of the day. And then, near a low rise, with the light beginning to soften toward evening, the 2 young men stopped. For there, far off across the grass, where a moment before there had been nothing, something was moving toward them. At first, they could not tell what it was. It was a shape against the bright distance, small and far, coming on slowly through the waves of grass. They shaded their eyes and watched it come. It was not a buffalo. It was not an animal at all, they began to see. It was walking upright, the way a person walks, moving toward them with an easy, unhurried grace. And around it, The light seemed somehow softer and brighter than the light anywhere else upon the plain. As the shape drew nearer, they saw that it was a woman, a young woman, walking alone across the empty prairie, far from any camp, with no fear in her step at all, as though the wide and dangerous land were as safe to her as a path to her own door. She was dressed in soft white, white as new snow, white as the breast of a cloud, and she carried something in her arms, held close and careful, wrapped and precious. And she walked toward the two young men through the gold and silver grass as if she had come a very long way only to meet them, and was not tired and was not lost, and was exactly where she meant to be. There was a grace in the way she moved that the two young men had never seen before. She did not hurry, and she did not falter. Each step settled into the grass softly and rose again, smooth and unhurried, as though she walked to the rhythm of some slow song only she could hear. The wind that bent the grass all around her seemed to move with her, rather than against her, and the long stalks parted before her and closed behind, and she came on through them like the dawn comes on across the plain, gently, steadily, brightening everything in its path. And the closer she came, the deeper the quiet grew, until the whole wide evening seemed to be holding its breath, waiting, the way the two young men were waiting, for the holy woman to arrive. The two scouts stood very still and watched her come. There was something about her that made the whole evening go quiet around them. The way a room goes quiet when someone is about to say a thing of great importance. The wind seemed to gentle, the grass seemed to still, and the light around her, that soft, bright light, came on with her across the plain. And the young men did not run and did not call out, but only waited, with a kind of wonder rising slowly in their hearts, for the holy woman to reach them. Stay there in the wonder a while. There is no hurry. She is still far off, and the light is gentle, and the evening is long. She came on across the grass, the woman in white, and the two young men waited, and the soft light came with her. Now, the old tellers say that the two scouts were not the same in their hearts as they watched her approach. And this is a quiet and important part of the story, so let me tell it softly. One of the young men looked at the woman coming toward them and saw, at once, that she was holy. He could not have said how he knew. He only knew it. The way you know that a high mountain is high, or that deep water is deep. There was something sacred about her, plain as the light around her, and it filled him with a deep respect. And he stood very still and lowered his eyes and waited with a quiet and humble heart. But the other young man looked at the same woman and saw only that she was beautiful. And his thoughts ran toward himself, toward what he wanted, toward how he might take this lovely stranger for his own. He did not see the holiness at all. He saw only the surface of the thing and reached for it, the way one might snatch greedily at a shining stone without ever wondering what it truly was. Now here is where I must tell you gently, for the night is meant to be soft, that the second young man's wanting did not end well for him. The old tellers say that as he reached toward the holy woman, a soft cloud or a fine mist came down over him, and when it lifted, he was gone, returned to the dust of the prairie from which all things come, leaving only the lesson behind. I tell it to you quietly, without any fear in it, because, in the story, this is not a cruelty, but a kind of teaching. The way the land itself teaches, plainly and without anger. What we reach for greedily, we lose. What we approach with respect, we are given. That was the first teaching of the holy woman, before she had said a single word. and it is a gentle one to carry down toward sleep. The grasping hand closes on nothing. The open hand receives. And so the lesson passed, soft as the mist that carried it. And there remained only the one young man, the one who had seen rightly, standing humble and unharmed in the long grass, with his eyes lowered before the holy woman. And she looked on him with great kindness, for he had shown her respect. And respect was the very thing she had come to teach. She spoke to him then, and her voice was gentle. The old tellers say, gentle as the prairie wind itself. She told him not to be afraid. She told him that she had come from the Buffalo Nation, sent to the people as a friend, bearing a gift and a teaching, and that she meant only good for them. And she told him to go back to his camp, to his people, and to tell their leaders that something sacred was coming to them, and that they should make ready to receive it. She told him to have them build a great lodge in the center of the camp, and to gather the people there, and to wait for her. For in 4 days she would come to them, walking out of the grass as she had come to him, and she would bring to the whole people the gift she carried in her arms. The young man listened and held every word, and when she had finished, he turned and ran back across the darkening prairie toward his camp, his heart full, his tiredness forgotten, carrying the news through the long grass under the first soft stars. Imagine that run home through the cool of the falling evening. He had set out tired and discouraged, with empty hands and an empty horizon. Now he ran light as the wind, the weariness washed clean out of him, his heart so full it seemed to carry his feet. The grass whispered past him. The first stars came out, one by one, in the deepening blue, and the great news ran in him like a warm current. The news that something sacred was coming to the people, that the hard season was not the end of the story, that out on the wide grass a holy friend waited with a gift. He did not field miles. He did not feel the dark. He only ran, and the prairie carried him home. And behind him the holy woman waited, patient and serene, in the gathering blue of the evening, with her gift held close. Rest there a moment in that blue evening, in the hush after the great news, before we follow the young man home. Let the young man run on ahead through the dark, and come back now to the camp, to the waiting people, and feel how the news moved among them, like warmth moving through cold hands. When the young man came running into the camp with his story, breathless and shining, the people gathered around him to hear it. He told them everything. He told them of the woman in white who walked the empty prairie without fear. He told them of the soft, bright light that came with her, and of the holiness that hung about her like the hush before dawn. He told them gently of what had become of his companion, and the people grew quiet and thoughtful and understood. And he told them her message, that something sacred was coming, that they were to build a great lodge in the center of the camp and gather there and make ready, for in 4 days she would come to them with a gift. And the people believed him. They did not argue, and they did not doubt. In that hard and hungry season, when the herds had not come, and the worry sat heavy behind every eye, here at last was something to make ready for, something coming toward them out of the wide land. And they took it up with glad and grateful hearts. The leaders of the people came together and agreed that everything should be done as the holy woman had asked, and the whole camp turned as one to the work of preparing. There is something deeply restful in watching people make ready for a welcome guest, and you may sink into it now. All through the camp, hands set to work, calm and purposeful. They built the great lodge in the center of the camp, the largest and finest they could make, raising the long poles and drawing the cover around them until it stood tall and round against the sky, ready to hold all the people. They cleaned and they ordered and they swept the ground. They made the camp as beautiful as they could make it, the way you tidy a home before someone dear arrives, smoothing everything, setting everything in its place, so that the guest will know she is honored and welcome. And as they worked, the worry of the lean season began quietly to lift, not because the herds had come, for they had not yet, but because the people had something to hope toward now, something to lean their hearts upon. And hope is a kind of food, too, that fills you when the meat is thin. The children grew bright again. The talk around the fires grew warm, and over 4 days, the camp prepared itself, slowly and carefully, and with great love, for the coming of the holy woman. Feel the patience of those 4 days. The people did not rush. They could not make her come any sooner, and they did not try. They simply did the work that was in front of them each day with care, and let the 4 days pass at their own pace. The way the seasons pass, the way the sun crosses the sky, one day and then another and then another and then the fourth, the lodge stood ready, the camp stood ready. The people gathered and grew quiet, and turned their faces toward the wide grass to the place where she would come, and the wind moved over the waiting camp, low and constant and kind, as it had moved over everything in this story, as it moves over you now, smoothing the world toward stillness. Rest in that waiting. The guest is almost here. On the morning of the 4th day, the people looked out across the prairie, and far off in the silver grass, just as she had promised, they saw her coming. She came as she had come to the 2 scouts, walking alone and unafraid across the wide land, dressed in soft white that caught the morning light, carrying her precious bundle close in her arms. And around her, again, was that gentle brightness, that soft, holy light, moving with her over the grass. The people watched her approach in a great and reverent silence, all of them gathered and waiting. The children held still, every eye turned toward the slow white figure growing nearer through the morning. And as she walked the last distance into the camp, the old tellers say, she sang. A low and beautiful song moved before her over the grass, gentle as the wind. And the people heard it and were filled with a deep peace, the kind of peace that settles all the way down into the bones. Let that song move over you now too, though you cannot hear the words. Imagine a voice low and sweet and unhurried, rising and falling like the grass in the wind, carrying nothing but kindness, asking nothing of you, only smoothing the air before it into stillness. That is the song she sang as she came into the camp, and it is a good song to fall asleep inside of. She walked slowly through the gathered people, and they made way for her with bowed heads and open hearts. And she came at last to the great lodge they had built for her in the center of the camp, and she entered. And the leaders and the people came in after her and gathered round, filling the lodge, quiet as the dawn, waiting to receive whatever she had come to give. She walked sunwise around the inside of the lodge, the way the sun moves across the sky, the way all good things move in this story, in a slow and patient circle. And then she came to rest, and the people settled around her, and the whole camp held its breath. She told them then why she had come. She spoke to them gently, as a friend speaks to friends, and as a teacher speaks to those ready to learn. She told them that she had been sent to them from the Buffalo Nation, that she came as a relative, that the people and the buffalo and all the creatures of the wide land were bound together as one family, sharing one earth and one sky. She told them that she had seen their hard season and their patience in it and their care for one another, and that she had come to bring them a gift that would help them and a teaching that would guide them so that they might live well, in balance and in respect, through all the seasons that were to come. And then, slowly and with great care, she began to unwrap the bundle she had carried so far across the grass. Stay there in the hush of the lodge, with the people gathered close and the holy woman at the center, as she opens, at last, the gift she has brought. There is no hurry. The lodge is warm, and the song still hangs in the air, and you are among friends, in the safest place in the story. She unwrapped the bundle, there in the center of the lodge, with all the people watching, and she lifted out the gift she had carried and held it up for the people to see. It was a sacred pipe, a long pipe, carved and made with great care, and it was beautiful, and it was holy. And the old tellers say that the holy woman held it up before the people and showed it to them, and explained to them gently what it meant, and how it was to be used, and why it had been given to them. I will not tell you the inner ways of it tonight, for those belong to the people who hold them, and I am only a guest, telling the shape of an old story. But I can tell you the heart of what she taught, for the heart of it she meant for everyone, and it is a gentle teaching to carry down toward sleep. She taught them that the pipe was a way of remembering that all things are connected. She showed them how its parts came from the earth and from the living world, the stone and the wood and the breath of the one who held it, all joined together into one whole thing, so that to hold the pipe was to hold a small image of the whole world joined as one. She taught them that when they used it, they were joining themselves to the earth below and the sky above, and to all their relatives, the people and the animals and the growing things and the standing stones, all of it one family, all of it bound together, none of it apart. And this, she said, was the teaching beneath the gift, the thing she most wanted them to carry, that everything is related, that the people are not alone and not separate, but woven into the wide living world, kin to the buffalo and the grass and the rivers and the sky, that because all things are related, all things must be treated with respect. The earth that holds you is a relative. The water that you drink is a relative. The animals that give themselves so that you may live are relatives and must be honored and never wasted and always thanked. To live well, she taught, is to live in respect for all your relations and in balance with them, taking only what you need, giving thanks for what you are given, and walking gently upon the earth that carries you. She spoke too of the great circle of things, the old tellers say, of how the days turn into one another in a circle, and the seasons turn in a circle, and the life of a person turns from childhood to age and back into the earth in a circle, and how all of it is held together, round and whole and balanced, with no part of it apart from the rest. She taught them that to keep the balance was to keep the circle whole, and that to keep the circle whole was to live in a good way, so that the people and the land and the herds and the sky all flourished together, none taking too much, none left without. It was a teaching about wholeness, about belonging, about the gentle giving and receiving that keeps a world alive. And the people listened and felt the truth of it settle into them like warmth into cold hands, let that teaching settle softly over you now, for it is a kind and a peaceful one. You are not alone. You are not separate. You are woven into a wide and living world that holds you the way the prairie holds the grass, the way the sky holds the prairie. The ground beneath you is kin to you. The air you breathe is kin to you. The slow-turning earth that carries you through the dark toward morning is your relative, and it holds you with care and means you well. There is a deep rest in that, and feeling yourself held inside so wide a family, no longer a small separate thing, but a part of the whole patient world. And she taught them too, the old tellers say, of the circle and of balance, and of respect between all people, the care of the young and the honoring of the old, the keeping of peace and the sharing of plenty so that none go without. She taught them how to live, in short, gently and in balance, as relatives among relatives, beneath the wide and watching sky. And the people listened and held her words and felt the lean season's worry melt away inside them, replaced by something steadier and warmer, a sense of how to walk through the world in a good way. Rest in that warmth. The gift is given. The teaching is taught. All that is left now is the gentle leaving. When she had given the people the pipe and taught them the teaching that went with it, the holy woman made ready to go, for her work among them was done. She told them that she would leave them now, but that she would not truly be gone. She told them to keep the sacred pipe with care and to live by what she had taught them, and that if they did, the good things would return to them. The herds would come back. The lean season would pass. The people would be fed and warmed and cared for, generation after generation, as long as they remembered to live in respect and in balance as relatives among all their relations. And she told them, the old tellers say, that she herself would look on them again, that she was not leaving them forever, but only walking on, and that they would see her once more before she was truly gone. And then she turned and walked out of the great lodge, and the people followed her out into the light and gathered to watch her go. She walked back out through the camp the way she had come, slow and serene, with the soft light moving around her, and the people parted before her with bowed heads and grateful hearts. Watching the white figure pass back out among the lodges toward the wide and open grass, she walked out of the camp and onto the prairie, and the people stood and watched her go, smaller and smaller against the enormous land, walking away into the silver grass under the great round sky. And then, the old tellers say, a wonderful thing happened. The thing the story has been walking toward all along, soft and slow as everything in it. The holy woman stopped out there on the open plain, and she lay down upon the grass, and she rolled upon the earth. And when she rolls, she was no longer a woman. She had become a young buffalo calf. A buffalo calf, the color of the woman's white robe, white as new snow, white as a cloud. A white buffalo calf, standing alone on the wide prairie where the holy woman had been. And the white calf looked back once at the watching people, and then it turned and walked away into the herd-colored distance. And as it went, the old tellers say, it changed again, its color shifting as it walked, until it was gone over the far rise and into the grass in the evening. So the holy woman came to the people as a woman and left them as a white buffalo calf, returning to the buffalo nation from which she had been sent, having given them the gift and the teaching she had carried so far. And in this, the people understood, more deeply than words could say, that she had told them the truth, that the buffalo and the people truly were one family, kin beneath one sky, and that the gift had come to them from a relative. In love, let the wonder of that settle gently over you, soft as the evening coming down over the grass. The holy woman became the white calf and went home to the herds, and left the people richer than she found them, with the pipe in their keeping and the teaching in their hearts, and a promise that the good things would return. There is no sorrow in her leaving, only a quiet completeness, the feeling of a circle gently closed. She came in peace, she gave in love, as she departed in peace, the way the dawn departs into the day, the way the day departs into the soft blue evening. And the people stood there a long while in the gathering dusk, looking out at the place on the far rise where the white calf had vanished into the grass, and they did not feel that they had lost her. They felt, instead, that she had simply gone home, the way a guest goes home after a good visit, leaving the house warmer for having been there. They felt her promise still hanging in the air, gentle as her song. And they felt, looking out at the great herds country into which she had disappeared, that she was out there still, somewhere in the wide and living world, kin to them, watching over them, never truly far. There is a deep comfort in that, in a leaving that is not really a loss, in a goodbye that is also a promise to return. Rest there, in the closing of the circle, as the white calf disappears over the far rise and the people turn back toward their camp beneath the first stars. And so the holy woman was gone, become a white buffalo calf, and returned to the wide grass. And the people stood a long while looking after her, holding what she had given them, before they turned at last toward home and toward sleep. And the old tellers say that everything she promised came true. Not all at once, for nothing in this story comes all at once, but slowly, in the patient way of the land. In the days that followed, the people kept the sacred pipe with care, and they lived by what she had taught them, walking gently, taking only what they needed, treating all their relations with respect, sharing their plenty so that none went without, and the good things came back to them. The herds returned. One day, a scout on a far rise saw, at last, the dark moving line on the horizon that the people had waited so long for, the great herds flowing back across the grass, dark and countless and welcome, and the lean season ended, and the people were fed, and the camp was warm again, and the children grew strong. Think of how the whole story has come round, gentle as a wheel turning. It began in a hard and hungry season, with the herds gone and the worry settled heavy over the camp. And now, at the end, the herds are back, the worry is lifted, the people are fed and warm and at peace, holding a sacred gift and a kind teaching that will guide them through all the seasons to come. The circle has closed softly, the way the seasons close, the way the day closes down into the night. What was lacking has been restored. What was broken has been made whole, and it was made whole by a gentle visitor who came in peace, gave in love, and asked nothing in return but that the people live well. There is a quiet teaching folded into this old story, and you do not have to hold it. Only let it warm you as you drift. It is this: the good things come to those who live in respect and in balance and in gratitude, treating the whole wide world as kin. The holy woman did not bring the people away to take more, or to grasp harder, or to win. She brought them away to live gently, to give thanks, to honor their relations, to walk softly upon the earth that carries them. And from that gentleness, all the good things flowed. The grasping hand in this story closes on nothing and is lost. The open, grateful, respectful hand receives everything. That is a soft and kind truth to fall asleep upon. So let yourself sink down into it now, all the way down. Feel yourself held inside the wide family of all things, kin to the earth and the sky and the grass and the patient stars. Feel the slow-turning world beneath you, your relative, carrying you with care through the dark toward morning, asking nothing of you tonight but that you rest. The herds have come home. The people are fed and warm. The pipe is kept. The teaching is held. The circle is closed. And all is well upon the wide and quiet prairie. Feel the long grass around you, bending soft in the wind. Feel the great round sky above you, holding the first stars. Feel the wind itself, low and constant and kind. The oldest sound there is, moving over the prairie and over the sleeping camp and over you, smoothing everything toward stillness, the way it has moved through every part of his story. There is nothing left for you to do. The gift is given. The teaching is taught. The holy woman walked into the grass and became the white calf and went home and left the world more whole than she found it. And now the world is resting, and so now may you. Let my voice grow faint. Let the words blur softly into the dark. Let yourself sink slow and deep and warm, down past the last thin edge of waking, into the quiet where the prairie wind still moves and the white calf still walks gently home over the far green rise. Sleep now. You are held. All is well. Good night.